Hello and welcome back. In this video tutorial, I will show you how to apply the user-defined labels in Docentric print destinations and Docentric templates. Let's start with our user-defined labels list. We will apply our newly created user-defined label for video trainings. Its global label ID is what we need to know, so I will copy it. Now I could use it in some print destination, for example in the Docentric email print destination, email body. Make sure to add the closing "at" suffix. That's how we identify the Docentric user-defined labels and Docentric placeholders in the Docentric print destinations. I will go and print some purchase order confirmations. This purchase order has US English language, and this purchase order has Spanish language. Let's print through Print Management these two purchase order confirmations. Here are the email messages. We will open and inspect them. This is the email created for the English runtime. And this one was for the Spanish runtime. If I need to modify some of these translations, I can quickly open this user-defined label and make the changes. I will do it on the English translation. Next time when I print the report, I will see that the new translation will be used. We have demonstrated how the user-defined labels are applied in the Docentric print destinations. Let's now see how we use them in the Docentric templates. For that, I will open one purchase order template and add one label tagging element. In the dialog where I should provide a binding source, I will click the Enter Label Code as a source and enter the global label ID. Remember, our designer is meant to be used offline, without any direct connection to D365 F&O. That's why it right now isn't aware of this user-defined label, and that is why in preview we see just its global ID and preview language. But don't worry, in runtime it will be populated by the correct translation. Let's verify this. We need to apply this template and print one purchase order confirmation. Just as promised, the correct translation is printed. Let's also print the document with the Spanish runtime. And here is the correct result too. We see that even though the template wasn't aware of our user-defined label, everything turned out good in runtime. But there is a way to equip the designer with the necessary information so that we can preview the correct translations. To achieve this, we must include our user-defined label in the DDSP file. We know already that DDSP file contains the translations of all labels related to the report data source. But to add some other labels, we must list them in the Docentric report setup under the Custom Labels Fast tab. I have here already some labels, and as you can see, you can list not only the user-defined labels but also some system labels. I will now add our user-defined label for video training. I can do it in two ways. One way is on this form, by clicking Add User-Defined button. It will list all user-defined labels that haven't already been added to this report. I can multi-select them, but I will select only our label for video training and add it. Another way of adding user-defined labels is to go to the user-defined labels form, grid view, multi-select the labels we need, and click the Add to Report button and select the report to which the labels should be added. Let's see how this new Docentric report setup with custom labels results in a better user experience in the template designer. We need to print one document to get a new DDSP file, and to import this new DDSP file into the template designer. As soon as we have imported the DDSP file, our designer becomes aware of this user-defined label and we see its translation in the selected preview language. Let's change the preview languages and check the results. If we go and check the properties of this label tagging element, here in the binding dialog we now see a new category, Custom. It is because there were some custom labels in the Docentric report setup and consequently in the DDSP file, so we can conveniently select one of them. We didn't make any significant modification to this template except for loading a DDSP file with custom labels, so there isn't any need for applying it. But we can go and print one purchase order for German language. Remember how we don't have the German translation for our user-defined label, but we have the fallback translation enabled. We see that the fallback translation was applied. Let's say that we now got also the German translations for our user-defined labels, so I will go and apply it. Now I can print my document once again, and it will have the real German translation. In this video, we learned how to apply the user-defined labels into the Docentric print destinations and Docentric templates. If you have a lot of user-defined labels and want to give them to a professional translator, watch the next video to learn how to maintain the translations via the Excel export.